Hello, everyone. King Thunderbolt here. I have made some videos in the past. They're quite outdated now, so I'm trying to update them a little bit because the game has changed quite a bit in the last few years. So, one of the biggest questions we have um, when people join our team is how do you play the Conquest? It's a very complex game, it's a game within a game, and it's not something that usually people just go into head first without a little bit of knowledge. So, to help explain it, I'm going to go over the basics. You start out here on your main screen where your castle's at, and at the very top of your screen, there are three flags. Well, there may be more flags depending if there's events or whatever going on, but the one with the donkey, that's the one that takes you to the conquest. If you click on that, the conquest will load. It is a game within a game. So whatever fighting you do here, it does not affect the food you have in your silo. It does not affect anything as far as losing points if you lose in a fight. It doesn't affect anything. It's a game within a game. So it'll start you out here. This is your base. Now I'm going to zoom out, and the map is actually a fairly big map, and it does change every conquest. What's on the map, what the shape it is. Sometimes they make it smaller, sometimes they make it bigger, but it always has four corners. Now, we didn't go far enough into it yet to go all the way to the other team's bases. You don't have to. The purpose of the conquest is to build towers to capture tiles. The more tiles you capture, each one of these little hexagons is a tile. We happen to be the blue team, which is over here this time. Every conquest is different. We might be yellow, we might be red, we might be green. This time we're blue. So it'll always bring you up to the place where you are at. Now, you click on this, and that brings you up little tiles at the bottom to click. The eye just tells you who's on that tile. That's all the people that are in the base right now. When you start the conquest, that's where you start. If you were involved in a fight, like a couple of us were, and you lose, you get sent back to base, which means you lose all your troops that were assigned to you. I'll get to the troops in a minute. Right now, I'm going to click on this tile right here, just below the base on the bottom left. That brings up the standings. Now, these will be blank. It will say unknown until you actually meet up with those teams within the conquest. So you don't know who you're going to face until you actually meet them. Now, we've been playing this for a couple of days now, so there's only one day and 13 hours left in the game. So we already know who all the other teams are. And we got a couple that are pretty strong. We usually do pretty good, but we're a little short-handed this time around. So yeah, we're doing okay, but not that great. If you go up here to the top right, to the donkey with the chest on it, you click on that, it shows you the leaderboard within your tier. Right now, we have 226 points. We're 84th. As long as we stay above the red, we'll stay in our tier. If we drop down below that, you don't lose. Actually, yeah, you can lose tiles. But if you get down into the red, by the time the conquest ends, you'll drop down a tier, which means you'll fight teams that are probably a little weaker than the ones that are in this group. The ones that are in this group are a little bit stronger than the ones down below. If you finish in the green, you will move up into a new tier. When you do that, the teams in that next tier are more likely to be stronger than the ones that were in this one. So if you got a good team, you can keep moving up. There's no harm in ending up here, you remain in the same team, in the same tier, but you don't want to go backwards. So we have a little bit more work to do. The great thing is the way the conquest is set up, it's okay if you're not in first or second place. We've been in fourth place, and within the last day, you can shoot up and get first. This is quite a change. I don't think we'll get first place. I'm not going to lie. It'd be kind of crazy to think we're going to get that many points just in one day. But I'm going to go back to the other screen here. This one here, the castle, you click that on. It brings you up to the area where you donate. Each one of these buildings, down here at the bottom, there is the training camp. You click on this, and if it's ready, it'll say ready to donate. You click on that, and you can send troops. You donate troops to the team. Back out of that, you have your laboratory, which you donate wisdom, and then your quarry, which you donate stones. You need stones for building towers. If you don't have that, you can't build towers. Now, there's more to this up in here. I'm not going to get into that right now because this is just kind of going over the basics. But everybody has, if you're on a team in the Conquest, everybody has a little village. Those 3 buildings you had down there, it shows what level they are. Like mine, I have level 5 troops, level 6 quarry, level 6 lab. And this shows how many of each we've donated to the team, etc., etc. Anyway, this is more than you need to really worry about when you're just starting out. But if we ask to donate Conquest resources, this is the place to go. Click on the little castle tab in the corner, and then each one of these. Every day you can donate some more. And these are the 3 things right here on the left. Your stones, your wisdom, and your troops. If you have, say like the troops were at 14,000, it's already full. If you click on that and try to donate it, it's just going to say there's not enough room, it's already full. No worries, there's nothing you can do. But if it's like this, where it's 11,000 out of 100,000, then you just keep donating until it's full. Usually it takes a whole cycle of events before we get that full because it's such a large number. But we usually do it. So back into the map. Okay, I'm going to zoom out here. You go to the bottom right, there's a globe. If you click on that, it shows the actual map in miniature, and it shows what we've accomplished so far. The blue areas, since we're the blue team, those are where our towers are placed, and that's the territory we own. The red is over here, green is over here, yellow's over here. We didn't explore too far into these other territories, so that's why we don't see that much of the map. You won't see it until you actually explore that area. Now, when you go to move your man, your little pawn, it's best to move into areas that are already covered by our team if possible, like the blue. Each one of these tiles has a value. You click on it, you go up to the top and hit the I, and it'll give you energy cost. 11 energies to move. Right now I'm full, I'm at 600. Now, that's because, try to get over here where you can see it. That's because we already have that one covered as our territory. You go into the same thing, which is more grassland, but we don't have it claimed. That's 22. The value of that tile is 22. So when you move there, you use 22 energy. You move here, it's only 11. So if you have to move a long distance, it's always best to try to find a path that you can move on our own territory, because it takes half the energy to move on our own territory than it does on unclaimed territory. Now, if you move up here to see yellow, okay, so grassland again, that is 22 energy to move. I'll click on yellow, that's 44. If you go into enemy territory, it's going to be double. Where our territory is half, enemy territory is double. So if you have to move from here to here, try to do it as much blue as possible, and you'll be able to use less energy. Now, as you use the energy, you'll have to wait for it to replenish if it goes down to 0. It just replenishes over time. There's nothing else you can do to make it go faster. So there are tiles you cannot move on, like the water. If you click on that, it's impassable. You can't move there, you can't build there. The mountains, same thing. Now there are other tiles, like the green hills. Okay, it shows you can move on there because it has an energy cost, and it doesn't say anything that you can't build there. But there are tiles like this one right here, slippery slopes. Watchtowers cannot be built there, but you can move on that tile. So if I want to go from here to here, you can do that. You just can't build a tower on these ones. Now, I showed you the grassland. Let me show you something else. In this game, it's got a winter theme, so the white and the green are the same value. There's no difference. It's just tries to make it snowy. Let's see the green, 33 for the Rocky Hills for energy. I'll move to blue, it's only 17. Go to energy, go to enemy, that's 66. So it's only 17 and 17 to go between those two, but it's 66 just to move on to that one tile. So that's why I'm saying it's so important to make sure you're on your own colors thing if you can help it. Sometimes you can't. Like when the game first starts, you don't have any territory claimed. That's all you can do. All right, now while we're on this here, tile properties. Terrain, attack modifier, and defensive modifier. What that means is that if you're on that tile and you get attacked, or if you attack somebody that's on that tile, your value is only going to be 0.7, which is not much. It's less than 1, which means you're going to be at a disadvantage. If it was a fair, even one-on-one battle. If someone attacks you and you're sitting on that tile, you have a 1.5 modifier for your defense, which means you have the advantage. Which means when you're placing towers, if you place towers, it's up to the sergeants and generals to do that. But if someone places a tower, obviously they can't put it there because of that. So let's go to one of these. 1.1. That's a good defensive modifier because it's got an advantage over the getting attacked or attacking someone. Now, if you're on the regular grass here in the plains, if you attack somebody, you have the advantage over someone that's trying to defend. Likewise, let's if you're down here. 1.2. That's a better place to put a tower. See, like we did right here? Because you can defend at an advantage 1.2 over 0.8. And there are other things like the ice flows you can't walk on. Then you have certain tiles like this. Manfred. Manny, he is the resident mastodon. You'll find his bones sometimes in the map. Now, he's got a conquest score of 5. So if you claim that tile, and you claim tiles by building a tower next to them, you can't build it on there, it says so right there. But if you build one next to it, once it's finished and you claim it, As long as your color covers that tile, you own it. So this tower right here actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points for owning this territory. I counted 5 on that one. That only gives you 1. All these other ones only give you 1. And the mountains don't give you anything. You can't walk on them, you can't claim them, you can't do anything. They're just there to bug you and get in your way. Okay, so going back to this real quick. You got the map. You got the 1, 2, 3. What that does is it gives you a location for each tile. So if somebody gives you directions, say, hey, can you meet me at tile K40? We're going to start a fight. Okay. Well, you don't know where K40's at, but you're here in the base, you got to move. Where's K40? Click on the 1, 2, 3. It shows, okay, right there, that's K40, which is actually a library. So you can't build a tower there, but you can fight if somebody's sitting on it. Now, if you have a library, there's a troop thing, and then there's a stone quarry. Each one of those has a production where if you claim that, you actually can get the wisdom, the stones, the troops from those to help you in this area down here where I showed you earlier with the castle. It'll add to the team's donations. It'll help build those numbers up. So you want to claim those too. They're only worth 1 point. And if you park your guy there, it isn't going to give it to you. A lot of people do that mistakenly, thinking that they're going to get all the wisdom that comes out of there, or the stone or whatever. No, it doesn't work like that. The only way you claim it is by building a tower nearby and claiming that property. Now, and there's the village. That's for the troops. There's another Manfred, or boneyard or whatever. There's these things here. The magical font that has magic potions. If you claim that, in this case the yellow team claim that, they get these magic potions that get donated to everyone on the team. Now there's also pearl mines. We've already had a pearl mine. Once it's claimed, it goes away. So we've already got it, and it's already gone away. It was down here somewhere. But everybody on the team gets pearls from that mine if it's claimed. So that's also an important thing if you were to place towers, which I'll get into that in another video. But anyway, in the map, if you look at the map, there's always a center point on the map. And that very center point is going to have a very important tile. In this case, it's actually right here. This tile on this one, because it's nearing Christmas time, it's November, but festive tree. That one is 35 points. That's the most points of any tile on this whole board. Problem is, it's also in the very center of the map. So the blue team, the yellow team, the green team, the red team, everybody's going to want to come claim it. Everyone's going to want to come fight for it. Sometimes it's best not to worry about it. Just build up your territory and let them fight for it. Because once you're in a fight, you get tied up until the fight's over. You can't move. So even if you use all your fights within that time, that's all you can do. You have to just wait until it times out, and then you'll be able to move after that. So let's see. We have finally to the point now where I can tell you how to move. If you go down to go down to where your base is at. You click that on. Now your guy is going to look different than everyone else. Everyone else is going to have it looks like this guy here, except smaller. You're going you can have a crown on yours. Now there's a couple buttons. I have this because well, a general. I'm the leader, which also has general privileges, so I can assign troops and everything. I will get to troops in a moment still, but to move, this is the one you use, the man on a donkey. You click on that and it'll light up a certain area on the board. Usually it's only 4 tiles away that you can move at a time, but if you have territory claimed within that 4 tiles and it's continuous, you can move as far as your energy will let you go. 279 energy, 300 energy, 307. You can go all the way up here in one move because we're connected by our territory. Now those are mountains, so that's why it blocks you there. That's enemy territory, that's more mountains, and that's unclaimed. So that's why that ends right there. But if it was connected like over here and more blue, you can go all the way up here. And I mean, there's all kinds of places you can move, but once you move, like I'll show you, I'll move, let's see, I'll move here to start. And you can move anywhere. You don't have to go wherever it tells you, but wherever you go, it gives you a value up here. This is how much energy it'll take to go to that tile, 66. You go on that, that's 77. You go on there, okay, that's 66. So I'm going to click on that. There, I've just moved. And click on that again. Move the donkey again. This time I'm going to move to a tower. It's one of our towers. Okay, now I move there. And if you go and you look, you can get troops through this tower. Now I'm already full because I left with a full batch of troops from here. But if you're out fighting and you use troops, you want to refill because that makes all the difference in the world when you're fighting. That's why all these towers have a value. That's why all these, tiles have a value. The defensive and attack, what I was talking about. So you click on that, it tells you who's on there right now. Now he doesn't have any troops. I'll give him some here in a little bit. But that's where you would go. If you're a general or a sergeant, they can fill your troops up. If you're not, just go down here to the message board and say, hey, can someone give me troops? When you click that on, this is how we communicate. This is very important if you're trying to know where you got to go or where the fighting's at and, hey, where am I needed? This alliance chat is very important. Now we have this middle one up here, which is the sticky notes. This one is more geared toward events. It's also important just to check it. Like right now, fighting north. Yellow team first, pick a fight, and then join. That's actually an old message because our fights are over now. We have to attack somebody to get another fight started. But, let's see. Now you can't start a fight. You can be attacked, but you can't start a fight unless you're a sergeant or a general. So, when you first start this game, the Conquest, it's best just to go around and start opening up the map so we know where all the resources are at, like the troops and the library. Those are very important things to have, and the stone quarries and stuff. Once we find that, we know where to place towers. You'll know that's how you come across the enemies, like the red here, the red guys. You can go on there, click on that. It tells you who they have and the strength. He's got 2,480 trophies. He's pretty tough for a new player. So you don't want to just attack any tower or anybody if you can. If you want to, you want to have a strategy going into it, and that's where the generals and the sergeants get together and they talk and they give directions up here. So as time goes on, as you learn this game, it's not that hard. There's just a lot to it. So think I've explained everything. The one thing I do want to go over real quick that I did miss, I just realized. If you got something like this is a wall. Boom, 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 boom. Mountains everywhere. You can't cross those. To get to that tile, because those are impassable, you have to go up and around those mountains. Now, some people try to park their guy right in the middle, thinking that, well, if I put myself here, they can't get through. That's not true. Because when you move, it's like hopscotch. You go right over that person. So if I'm, say I'm this guy and I want to go over here, I could go right over him. I'm not going to fight him unless I land directly on him, but I would have to choose that tile. If you choose that one, or that one, or that one, it's going to go right over those people. So putting yourself in the way isn't going to stop anybody unless you're 4 deep and there's nowhere for someone to go. But you have to have a lot of people ready to go for that, and that's just not going to happen for most cases. And like I said, sitting on the tile, like on the quarry, that's not going to give you anything. We already have the stones because it's captured by the tower, but you don't have to sit on it. Likewise, if you're assigned to a tower, like these buttons right here, if you want to know where your guy is at any given time, click this on, boom, it takes you right to where your guy's at. If you want to know where, if you see this button here on the right, get that off there. You see this one on the right here, that tells you you've been assigned as a tower guard. Click on that and it takes you to wherever your tower is at that you've been assigned to. In this case, I'm assigned to a watchtower. Now, if I'm assigned to that tower, I can't move it. It just means that I'm there kind of in spirit. If somebody attacks it, I can fight. I will be an extra person fighting on that tower. No matter how many of our teammates are there, I will always be on that tower. Now, my guy is over here. If I was attacked over here, I could actually have 2 fights going at the same time. My actual player, and then as a tower guard. I can move this guy, I cannot move that one. So if you log on, you come into the Conquest, and you see, hey, a bunch of fights are going on, click on the tower guard to make sure that, if you have one, to make sure you're not involved in the fight, because you may have to fight, so you don't want to lose points and all that stuff. Anyway, this is long and drawn out. I try to make it simple, but this is not a simple game. So, thank you for watching, and I will post more videos as I can come up with them. Thank you. Have a great day.